Hello. It's been ages, hasn't it, since I've just been sat in my kitchen, and I've been really wanting to do just a sit down Q&A and also just like an overall catch up. I feel like it's needed. I don't think I've sat down properly in ages and just chatted away, so I thought I'd do my makeup. I'm going out for like a Halloween kind of night this eve, and it's been a bit last minute in terms of like deciding on what to wear. In hindsight, I didn't know I had this in my drawer. Like, I could have just gone as like a dead bunny or something. I wanted to go as a duo like Mason and I, but it was just really difficult finding stuff in stock. I feel like I always leave Halloween so last minute, and then you know when you're just like, can I go getting dressed up? I've got my mint tea. Pop your kettle on if you haven't already. Make yourself a nice drink. I actually really like mint tea at the moment, like fresh mint. I find as well it really helps with like bloating as well, SPF in my eye, and I know I'm looking a bit crazy right now with half face makeup on. I asked you guys yesterday on my Instagram some Q&A questions. Oh, I think I used a tissue to wipe the mirror behind me. Do you ever avoid social gathering due to avoid over consuming calories? No, I do not avoid social gatherings. Like, being social and like spending time with my friends and family is really important to me. In the past, I've definitely prioritised when I had a really unhealthy, I would say, balance when it came to like my fitness health journey like a few years back, and that was just from like a lack of knowledge. If I'm completely honest, like, you can work social gatherings like around your goals, and I don't think it's healthy to follow like that all or nothing approach, because you just end up so unhappy. If you're going out for a meal, you can choose different options, or like speak to your friends and say, can we go to this restaurant that you like, if that is something. If you're trying to like maintain some form of calorie deficit, there's always good options like on the majority of menus depending on where you go. Fitness doesn't need to consume your whole life. Next one, how long have you been going to the gym? So I've been going to the gym probably since I was like 15, 16, and throughout that time I haven't trained like consecutive or consistently, like especially when I first started out, but I'd probably say since I was about 19 is when I started taking it a lot more seriously and maintaining like a proper routine, shall we say. Thoughts on which contraception to use? So this is personal preference. I myself have not had a good experience with the contraceptive pill. It made me feel like a different person, to be quite honest with you, and like since I came off the pill, which will be, it's been a while, it's been a long time now actually, I just feel so much more like myself. My skin has been so much better. Periods are like so regular, and I'm actually having like a proper period. Like, I didn't know for a long time that when you're on the contraceptive pill, like it's like a fake period basically. Of course, if you are actively having sex and you don't want to fall pregnant, then make sure you're using like a condom or some other form of contraception. I do hope in the future there are different ways, because it just feels like as females we have to take all these pills and stuff, and guys, you know, they've got the option of like putting a condom on in your... Do you focus on more carbs over proteins and fats in your eating? Personally, focus more so on proteins, but I have such a good balance of proteins, carbs and fats, but having a higher protein diet just suits me really well. I'm going to start by doing makeup. I will leave the look that I'm doing linked below.
I'm just going to contour like we normally would, and then in a little bit I'm going to darken it all up.
Oh, I just swallowed a mint leaf. By the way, so I've got my foundation on, and then I'm going to do my contour. She uses Hoola, but I think I'm just going to use my actual contour stick. On my neck here, this is actually a new...
So I'm just going to add a little bit of translucent powder.
I had a hydrofacial for the first time last week, and I think your skin breaks out first, but I've also started a new skincare routine. But I felt a lot more glowier this week, and also I've been making sure, I've been really focusing on hydrating Huns. Eating these mint leaves, I should have put a straw in this. And, oh, she's growing so quick. I haven't even done this bit yet.
I want the features. So now I'm going to go in with this really pretty deep raspberry red. This is from the Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection Bling Gloss palette, and I'm using a flat brush. So I'm going to dip my blending brush in the brick shade and just blend those two together.
Black brush. Okay.
So I'm going to go with the black. You can use any black matte color you want. I'm just using the black from the Morphe 35B palette.
How long has it taken you to develop your current style? Love your outfits. Oh, that is so kind. I really appreciate that. But, you know, me and Mason were literally talking a few days ago. Like, I feel like I don't have like a fixed style. Like, I go from looking like, I love everything like oversized at the moment, and I will probably go into Mason's wardrobe more than my own. I love like oversized hoodies, and I really like, you know, the trend at the moment with the like wide leg pants. Okay, yeah, I really like that. I'm not as keen on like the lower rise stuff. Like, I feel like I'm always going to be like a high rise kind of girl. Like, it just doesn't feel right. I think when you're so used to wearing high rise, I find it really hard to get used to it. But you know, time will tell. You know how some people have got an aesthetic. Mine is different, I think, daily, and I quite like street style the most, I'm gonna say. Even sometimes go like super girly. I love getting like dressed up for like night out. I think you'll be able to hear Penelope snoring in the background. Do you struggle with guilt when out of fitness routine on holiday? No, not at all. I love time to switch off. I think it's just a mindset shift you've got to have. Like, if you're experiencing a lot of guilt, just really work on like actually asking yourself like the questions, like, say if you're away for a week, you know your body composition isn't going to change massively in a week's time. You're not going to lose or gain in, you know, a week's time of being out of routine. Get back to your normal routine and way of eating like the following week, say, and you'll be surprised at how quickly you feel like more like yourself. Like, granted, of course, like you may feel more bloated or stodgy if you've been eating foods that you don't usually have in your diet. Your own thoughts out, not everything you think is true, but I completely relate. Like, I have gone through periods like years ago when I used to really struggle with like holidays and eating out and just how it would make me feel, and then I'd beat myself up and go over exercise, but that never really helped the situation. And finding the root cause, what's making you actually feel that way, asking yourself, is that thought actually true? Is that thought helping me? And going from there, like, understand as well, like, I have some of my best sessions, you know, like, say if I've had a full week off. Recently had a week off when I had the accident with my head / eyebrow, and you know, my body didn't change at all. Like, I'd felt like a bit more like groggier than usual, but my actual body composition hadn't changed, my weight hadn't changed from a week of not training. But it's just finding as well like what works for you. Like, sometimes if I go on holiday, I will still train if I feel like it, or if I have time to. Like, it's just such a big part of my like routine that I quite like to maintain it. But if it's just like a full-blown chill out holiday, if I have a week off, like, I just look at it as understanding how beneficial that is for like my motivation, my training, allowing my body to like rebuild, recoup myself, and knowing that like I'll just get back to training when I like get back home. What type of sweetener do you use? I don't actually use any sweetener. Like, I always get asked, I think, when it comes to like my coffees, do I add some sweeteners just a bit too chemical, like, you know, it tastes really chemically, especially if you use too much, so I just don't really use them. You want to have babies. I'd like to have babies in the future. It's not something that I have in my mind at all at the moment, but yeah, in the future, I think on a whole, I was actually talking about this last night with some friends at dinner, and I was saying how like we were talking about like being maternal, and I think I've always been a maternal person, and I was thinking it's quite strange really, because I grew up without a mum, so I don't really know like where that's come from. Like, my dad wasn't like maternal, or like obviously like that female like motherly maternal instinct, but yeah, I can't wait. I really would like to be a mummy one day in the future, and I always really like kids. I think we're all different as well. Like, if you're not maternal, say, I don't know how I've gone so off topic now, haven't I? Flipping heck, you literally just asked if I wanted to have babies, and I've given you a whole story. But yeah, I think some people who aren't maternal like are the most amazing like mums as well. Like, I just think we're all so different. Oh my god, I've got powder all down my top. How did you overcome gym shyness? So, gym shyness, I still experience this to this day. It's not something that like completely goes away. I would say knowing that like we all deserve a place in the gym, no matter, like, don't let like men or anyone for that matter like overpower you or make you feel like you shouldn't be there, because I have experienced that as well, where like, I don't know, like, you know, some guys like just like go all macho in the gym, or like try like, don't know, make you feel uncomfortable. It definitely is a thing, but I think it happens less now than when, I do remember it being a bit worse like a few years. Overcoming gym shyness, like making sure you've got like a banging playlist ready to go. You've got, make sure your AirPods are charged, don't forget those. Have a workout plan. I think that's the most important thing. Make sure you've got a plan before you're going in, so you know exactly what you're doing. You're not sort of like wondering about, feeling uncomfortable, going like getting red or flustered. That's super helpful. And then working on making sure you know like your form and stuff like that, just practicing at home if you're unsure of anything. It's like build on your confidence. You could try training with someone or going to the gym at like quieter times. I have done quite a few videos on like gym confidence and stuff like that, which I will leave somewhere on the screen or down below. Well, making sure you're comfortable in your outfit, that helps me so much. I always have such better sessions if I love my gym outfit. Would you like to get married? There's a lot of like marriage and kids questions, and yeah, I think I've always wanted to get married, definitely. You know, I'm 23 and I still feel like, oh my god, like time's just going so quick. I still feel like 19 in my head. I'm not like overly fussed about following, you know, like social constructs of like marriage, getting a house, having kids. I want to get married. I don't need like a piece of paper to declare my love for like someone else. So the biggest pet peeve, like, one thing doesn't come to mind. Probably it's between, okay, I'm gonna have to give you two rather than one, but probably like people who have like bad manners, like who don't say like please, thank you, or just like common like courtesy stuff. And second one is just like disingenuous. I'm really knows disingenuous, or like people who tell, you know, just those silly lies. Like I wouldn't even say they're white lies, just lies that are like unnecessary, just like, I don't know, just ruin a whole personality. I just think that is like my biggest time to train. I don't think there's such thing as like a best time to train. It's just like on your routine, when's best to fit in. If you work, I find for me mornings are best. Like they have been for years, to be honest. I feel abnormal training in an evening, or I just don't feel like as energized. I like to have my evenings for like relaxing stuff, and I prefer getting up early, and it just sets me up for the day. Trialing different ways. I think it's important to keep a routine, or like a time that you usually train. It just makes it easier to build on that as a habit. Or would you ever compete in a bodybuilding competition? I haven't actually ever competed in a bodybuilding competition. I know there's quite a lot of different federations, but I've not really looked into it properly. It's not something that is like top of my priority list. Like I'm working on quite a few different things at the moment, and I think it's important to focus on one thing at a time. But I do like challenging myself. However, I have seen like some of the diets, like some of those athletes are going, is just an absolute madness. And I would look into WBFF. I think that's more like beauty pageant mix, so I'd probably look at that. Have you ever had an eating disorder? So I've never been like diagnosed with an eating disorder. I did have some unhealthy habits when I was younger, like in uni I had like a bad few years, but I wouldn't say it was an eating disorder as such, just an unhealthy way, and just like lack of education around food and training, to be honest. Yeah, I think I've answered. I feel like I've answered loads there. I could just keep going on and on. Thank you so much for sending your questions in. I really appreciate it. Before I carry on doing my hair and makeup, if you could make sure, if you enjoy my videos, that is, of course, I would really appreciate it if you make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I did actually see on my analytics recently a lot of my like watchers are not subscribed to my channel. I know it's really easy to do, but I'd really appreciate it. It just helps my videos and supports me, so yeah, I'd appreciate it a lot. Oh my god, what is this? Ready? I was thinking black lipstick, but I thought I only had eyeshadow, so I've just ordered our Uber. This is going as like a
their teacher.
Their teacher or farmer. It's wearing tweed. I think it's more of like a farm vibe. I'm a basic devil. I look like a mixture of like Santa Claus's angel with this tutu. I couldn't decide between these and like flat shoes, but they just didn't feel right. These horns with like a veil. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and a little Q&A catch up, and I'll see you in the next video.
What's up? You scared? Don't forget guys, like and subscribe.